So, a little bit ago, I think something like 2 to 3 weeks ago, Two Time got their rework in Forsaken. So, I'm just gonna give a brief summary of what he can do, how to play him, and then we can get into some gameplay. Before all of that, though, I just want to list some of the other balance changes that has come to Forsaken recently. In the future, Two Time is going to get a nerf, not to the character itself, but to stacking him in multiplayer lobbies. There was a tree in York's resting place that Two Time was able to camp in. That tree is now removed. Barber Jason, a skin that was infamous for having a slightly bigger hitbox than other Jason skins, was nerfed. Weeping Two Time is now seeable when he's invisible. We got a bunch of difficulty changes to certain characters. Taft's price went from 500 to 600. I don't know why. He's really a bad character. Two Time's class was changed from Survivalist to Sentinel, which is kind of weird considering, at least from what I can see, there isn't any way to look at what category each survivor is. Like, look, I'm scrolling everywhere over here. You can't really see anywhere that says noob or survivalist. Two Times price was increased from 400 to 500. Shaletsky and Elliot are now free and available in starting players' inventories. There is now an indicator to see when the killer is unable to be stunned. This is called stun immunity, and it's the time period after a killer gets stunned when they are unable to be stunned. This isn't really a balance change, but still, you can now hide playtime and wings in your settings. We got 2 new maps, Pirate Bay and Underground War, and yeah, that's it. So for stats, it's the same for everybody except his health is at 80. For passives, we have Oblation. It's usually hidden unless you start to fill the bar, but Two Time has a bar on the right side of the screen that when fully filled hands them your second life. The only way to fill this bar is by dealing damage to the killer. In the second life, they have 40 health, your stamina is restored by 40%, status effects are removed, you're made invincible for 2 seconds, speed 2 is applied for 6 seconds, and weakness 5 is applied for 12 seconds. I don't know why it doesn't state this here, but you also get highlighted for a very short time once you enter your second life. So next is the dagger move. You stab forward pretty much instantly and get resistance 3. If you get a stab to the front, it does 25 damage and gives the killer slowness 2 and helpless for I think 2 seconds, and also heals you for 10. Landing a stab to the back will stun the killer for 4 seconds, do 35 damage, and heal 2 times for 20. If you use this ability while you're crouched, you get a lunge. However, it gives it a bit more of a windup. For some context surrounding 2 times damage in relation to its oblation, if we're assuming you are solo, then you will need either 3 front stabs or 2 back stabs to fill your oblation bar. Next is crouch. It's self-explanatory. You crouch. This move lasts for 15 seconds. You can manually uncrouch whenever you need to. However, if you do, you get slowness 2, the duration depending on how close you are to the killer, and you are highlighted for a small amount of time. Crouching gives you invisibility 3 and undetectable. Finally, we've got ritual. Basically, you place down a respawn location, and if you die with a full oblation bar, you are instantly teleported to this point. Another thing to note is last man standing. If you are on your first life and you have a ritual somewhere, you will be instantly transported to your second life. The difference is you do not get weakness, and you also get 110 HP, which makes this character pretty powerful in last man standing. Probably like 3rd or 4th best behind, you know, the 2 survivalists. That's only if you're on your first life though. If you're on your second life, nothing happens basically. You just kind of die because you have 40 HP. Although Two Time is a sentinel now, he still does not want direct confrontations with the killer. Instead, he aims to stun him by being stealthy basically. When a teammate is being chased, you want to follow behind the chase next to the killer and try to find an opening where you can do so. The easiest way to do this is using corners, like for example, I could be crouched right here, and this killer might be passing this way while trying to chase the survivor, and then I can go back. This will take some time to get used to because of the aforementioned delay that a lunge dagger gives. If you don't have corners, you can also use a tech where you immediately, I kind of forgot I have ability cooldowns off, where you crouch and then immediately use your dagger so that you get the lunge instantly. The cooldown on your dagger ability is also really short, so I'm just gonna disable ability cooldowns real quick, but this dagger only lasts 30 seconds. Most other stuns, like Chance's gun and Gillespie's sword, have about a 40-second cooldown, but 2 times doesn't have this. So that means you can pretty much almost always be on the killer if he is chasing somebody else. Basically like a mosquito. Playing this character turns you into a mosquito. So when you're not in chase, the motto is you use your ritual somewhere, you continue stalking the killer once they're in chase, get a backstab off, run, wait till your cooldowns are off, and then rinse and repeat. What about when you're in chase? There's usually not much 2-time can do in chase because of the fact that the killer is now facing you. If you want to use a front stab, that is fine though. Using a front stab while you're in chase is basically charged with extra steps. You give them slowness and helpless for a second, you juke them afterwards, and then you continue looping or running away or whatever. That's basically the same thing with guest. And it also heals, so it's kind of better than charge. However, there is one more thing that you can do while in chase, and it's called trick stabbing. Basically, Spy from Team Fortress 2. Now, I won't really list every single way you can do it, but a trick stabbing is just when you juke behind the killer while they're next to you and then get a backstab. One of the simple ways is just walking straight, going behind like this, either with or without shift lock, whatever is comfortable for you, turning on shift lock, and then the trick stab. Another way you could do it is while running, you randomly turn a direction, and actually the killer wants to follow this direction, and then after they do, you turn again and then hit the trick stab. So that's basically it for 2-time. So long are the days where this character is complete cannon fodder. As for how he ranks, I think overall he is definitely a pretty solid character. 2-time stacking as of right now is pretty broken though, especially if anyone manages to get his stun off, because usually what ends up happening is it's like 4 2-times jumping you. There's like 10 2-times following from behind ready to jump you and get oblation bar. Basically the moment you get stunned while in the lobby with a lot of 2-times, it's basically over. You won't have any time to do anything if you ever go against those 2-times, because they're going to get their oblation bar so quick. If we're not considering 2-time stacking and just the character itself, I would probably rank him somewhere between low to mid A tier. Anyway, that's it. Now to the gameplay.
Nom nom nom. Oh my gosh. Bruh. Where are you? What are you? Oh, you're right there. We will. Nom nom nom. nom nom. Nom nom nom. Hey,